Welcome to the world of whimsy yarn. This is a new episode of our amazing stories. Today's story is about redemption at the Brazos, a tale of forgiveness and new beginnings. So, let's begin. Zack stood at the edge of the bridge on Highway 277, overlooking the Brazos River. His heart was a storm, a tumultuous sea of regret and despair. He closed his eyes and let the memories flood in, each one a dagger to his soul. 3 years ago, Zack had been the pariah of Cisco, Texas. His reputation was a tattered flag waving in the winds of his reckless actions. The final blow had been the video, a damning piece of evidence that captured him assaulting the beloved old man, Jacob, and stealing his money. The footage spread like wildfire on social media, cementing his fate. Desperate for cash to impress a girl, Rima, he had committed his first theft, only to end up in jail. The man, Jacob, had mercifully dropped the charges, but the court still sentenced Zack to 3 years behind bars. His friends had abandoned him, debts had piled up, and Rima had moved on to someone else. Upon his release, Zack found himself ostracized by the townspeople. Every glance, every whisper was a reminder of his fall from grace. With no place to call home, Zack decided to leave Cisco, hoping to rebuild his life elsewhere. As he left the town that scorned him, he hitched a ride with a truck driver heading north. Near Seymour, he got off by the bridge, the weight of his failures pressing down on him. He walked to the edge, contemplating the end. The river below seemed to call him, a dark abyss promising escape from his misery. He closed his eyes, memories flashing before him like a haunting film. He saw his parents, who had perished in a car accident near Cisco, returning from a visit to Eastland. Their faces appeared before him, inviting him to join them. His heart ached with a profound sorrow, the loss cutting deeper than any wound. He felt himself teeter on the brink, ready to let go, when suddenly, a firm hand pulled him back. Startled, Zack turned to see an old man with kind, yet piercing eyes. It was Jacob, the very man he had wronged. Jacob had stopped his car when he saw Zack on the bridge. In a voice filled with both authority and compassion, he said, "Not today, Zack." The two men embraced, and Zack wept, his tears a torrent of remorse and sorrow. "I'm so sorry," he choked out, unable to meet Jacob's eyes. The old man, whose heart seemed boundless in its capacity for forgiveness, held him tight and whispered, "It's never too late to start over." Jacob had been keeping an eye on Zack since his release, understanding the depth of his remorse and the harsh judgment of the townspeople. He had sensed where Zack might go, driven by an intuition born of love and empathy. They drove to Seymour together and stopped at a small diner. Over a meal, Jacob shared his plans to start a business in Cisco, a store selling groceries and household goods. He needed someone trustworthy to manage it. Despite his shame, Zack couldn't believe Jacob would trust him with such a responsibility. "Why me?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. Jacob smiled, his eyes twinkling with a wisdom that only age can bring. "Because, Zack, I see the good in you. You made a mistake, but that doesn't define you. What you do now, that will." Zack accepted the offer, seeing it as a chance to repay Jacob's kindness and prove his worth. He returned to Cisco with Jacob, ready to face the scorn of the townspeople. The initial days were tough, each interaction a reminder of his past. But Jacob stood by him, his unwavering support a beacon of hope. Slowly, the store flourished under Zack's management. The townspeople, witnessing his dedication and sincerity, began to soften. Jacob's belief in him proved to be the catalyst for Zack's transformation. He worked tirelessly, not just for the store, but to rebuild his shattered reputation. Years passed, and Jacob's health began to decline. On his deathbed, he entrusted the store to Zack, confident in his protégé's ability to continue the legacy. Zack, once a reckless youth, had become a pillar of the community. The store thrived, a testament to Jacob's faith and Zack's hard work. Zack never forgot Jacob's words. He offered jobs to those who, like him, had lost their way. He saw the spark of potential in their eyes, a spark that needed only a touch of kindness to ignite. In every person he helped, he saw a bit of his former self. And in every success, he felt Jacob's spirit guiding him. Standing at the bridge once more, Zack looked at the river with a sense of peace. The darkness that once beckoned now seemed like a distant memory. He whispered into the wind, "Thank you, Jacob, for everything." In the end, it wasn't just Zack who was saved. Everyone was touched with his newfound wisdom and compassion, a legacy of love and redemption that began with a simple act of forgiveness.